Welcome to the podcast about investing in startups, where existing investors can learn how to get the best deal possible. And those that have never before invested in startups can learn the keys to success from the venture experts. Your host is Nick Moran, and this is The Full Ratchet.
Welcome back to The Full Ratchet. On today's Investor Stories segment, the experts weigh in on the characteristics, personality traits, and behaviors that they see in the most remarkable and successful entrepreneurs. Here's the special segment called Exceptional Founders. On today's special segment, we have Peter Wilkins of Hyde Park Angels. Peter, have you had the pleasure of working with or investing in an exceptional founder? And if so, can you talk about what made that entrepreneur so great and highlight the aspects that make founders exceptional?
Across our portfolio, it's interesting when you look at the C-level executives or the co-founders. And I think that the best CEOs have a really good self-awareness. And it allows them to understand what they're good at and what they're not good at, and be able to fill the voids of what they're not good at. That is critical, because if you don't know what you don't know, the likelihood you're ever going to be able to strengthen it is really unlikely. And so when you start building to scale, that becomes critical, because most likely if you have a good awareness, then you can start developing a structure to figure out how to fit those with strong characteristics to fill out your whole org chart. And at the end of the day, it's the people you surround yourself that are going to grow the company. So I think what separates some of the exceptional leaders is their ability to do that. Now, sometimes you get a slap in the face to come up with that awareness. Like, you either do these things or you're going to lose control. And it's kind of like a awakening type of meeting. So not everybody is totally zenned up and ready to go and have excellent understanding. But I think that's what I would tell entrepreneurs. Understanding what you're good at and building on that is critical, and finding people that can complement what you're not good at and build your team around that will help you really be exceptional. You know, some of the best leaders are really good at that.
On today's special segment, we have Galen Mason of Service Provider Capital. Galen, can you tell us a story about a specific thing that a founder did that wowed you and made you realize that the entrepreneur was exceptional?
So this is a simple one, but I thought a really meaningful one for me, and one where, you used the word wow in your question, where it caught me off guard and made me realize I wasn't looking at something correctly. But I was recently at Procured Health's Series B closing party, right? And as a member of the legal team and someone that works with the company, you're so focused on doing your job. And I remember thinking, this is so great. You're celebrating. I arrived at the party, and they had the whole company there, and it was just a lot of fun, and everyone was having a good time. And I remember walking up to Eric and Hanny, two of the founders, and saying, congrats on your Series B. This is a great party. It looks like everyone's having fun. And Eric looked at me and said, well, this is for the employees, right? So almost, to me, it was a party for the folks that enabled them to do their Series B. And it was a subtle nuance, which as a service provider, it was just a good reminder of there's greater reasons going on than your sort of limited, focused legal topic. So, and I think that that's reflective of how those guys manage. They're super smart, but they take care of the folks that they work with and look for really good people. And so, of course, here they are enjoying a Series B.
On today's special segment, we have Nathan Benesh of Playfair Capital. Nathan, can you highlight a situation where a founder demonstrated to you that they were exceptional?
I mean, I think this is best exemplified over a period of time, and one of the things that I think is important when evaluating companies and how entrepreneurs should think about their relationships with investors is having the opportunity to demonstrate over multiple snapshots how entrepreneurs behave and how they promise certain achievements and then go execute on them and go through this cycle of continual problem solving, information gathering, learning, and readjustment of processes and hypotheses. And so for me, it's less about a specific moment and more about how I've evolved in a relationship with an entrepreneur to understand that they exhibit certain traits. And for me, those traits are that, founders need to be, exceptionally motivated to create a market defining, really great company that builds value not only for end users and customers through the products that they develop, but also for everybody that's involved in working at the company and running it and supporting it. And they need to care really deeply about all aspects of that business and essentially never stop obsessing over it because really they need to be committed in the long run for it, and it needs to be their calling. Like, I don't think there's any middle ground to that, really. And of course, they need to be leaders, and you can't really tell whether someone's a leader by just meeting them once. Oftentimes, that ends up showing itself best by observing how they inspire and help others to succeed within their team. And also, they need to demonstrate that they track every aspect of their business, that they're very critically evaluating all the moving parts, and that they rapidly learn and solve problems. And that's best observed by trying to solve those problems with them and essentially experiencing firsthand how they go about that process.
That will wrap up this installment of Investor Stories. Head over to thefullratchet.net to leave a comment, sign up for the newsletter, or find resources discussed on any of the episodes. Until next time, remember to over-prepare, choose carefully, and invest confidently. Thanks for listening.